When you talk about the mental health problems, when people come back from war and combat and they see things that maybe a lot of the folks in this room have seen many times over, and you're strong and you can handle it, but a lot of people can't handle it.
How can he not understand that? How can he be so out of touch?
First time I got woken up by motors. Frightening. Racked back my rifle, started just scoping in on people. Kevlar blood all over the place.
I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
Post-traumatic stress disorder taking its toll long before many even knew what PTSD was.
My anxiety felt like I was always under a sniper's scope.
PTSD plagues millions of military veterans, witnessing unfathomable, life-altering events. The symptoms?
Typically what happens is after a person experiences this traumatic event, they start to have intrusive thoughts.
So they're constantly sensitive to things going on around them. They lose their sense of purpose. Their anxiety associated with PTSD and the depression results, I feel, in many cases, in suicidal ideation.
Which makes this story so remarkable.
Like I say, it's been working up till now, 10-1 pro, signed to Bellator.
The man on the right is Terry Brazier, a pro mixed martial artist with Bellator, the UFC's rival. Brazier enlisted in the army after avoiding jail time as a teenager, later joining the parachute regiment.
Afghanistan, 2010, 2011, we went there. That was a turning point in my life, I guess.
We had a particularly hard time, losing guys through injury and death. We were dealing with the local population, children getting blown up by the IEDs left for us. There were horrific and life-changing stuff that happened out there.
You know, being blown up and people being blown up around you, and IEDs being found that you walked over and things like that. It's it's not normal.
These horrific events took a toll on Terry.
I got medically discharged from the army for having PTSD after my tour of Afghanistan. Come back, things were never the same, so I got asked to leave the army.
He calls it the injury no one can see. The brain's complicated. When I was asked to leave the army, everything was going wrong for me. The army was all I had. To have that taken away from me was a rough place to be. He went further.
Really bad depression and anxiety. And obviously my PTSD was affecting me and my life.
When the PTSD strikes, it gets short with people. Grumpy, depressed, doesn't find things funny, and the anxiety keeps him awake. It is difficult for Terry to get a good night's sleep, as the PTSD interrupts his pattern, a common symptom for those suffering. Amy, his wife, had the brunt of it. She had the nights where I've woken up screaming, he said. I've lashed out in my sleep, waking up in hot sweats, not being able to sleep. A big one that plays in my flashbacks are the children being blown up and trying to save their lives. It's all crazy shit, but we've learned how to deal with it better now.
To be completely honest, I was suicidal at that point in my life, and then I was really angry.
This, after Brazier grew up with an alcoholic father. I got the brunt of it, physically and mentally. That shaped my life. I took worse beatings off my dad when I was younger than I have in my fights. I think the first time I proper hit him and knocked him down, I was 13. Feeling lost, Brazier used the gym to blow off steam. Over time, it served as, in his words, my biggest coping mechanism. I can be self-destructive, but I see it as energy. Back when I left the army, I had so much negative energy. I needed to release it and felt like I needed to lash out. I don't know where I'd be without MMA. Brazier, working under the tutelage of Dean Amazinger, signed with BAMMA, Europe's biggest mixed martial arts promotion, winning multiple titles in multiple weight classes. His record sits at a stupendous 10-1, winning 9 straight since his only loss. He'd tell ESPN, I want that Bellator title. Admittedly, Terry's still plagued with the agonizing terrors of PTSD. He continues his fight every day to channel his episodes of rage. The vehicle is MMA. Prize, however, not a fight, rather reaping the rewards of satisfaction from his family. Michael J. Fox would say family is not an important thing, it's everything. And that's the foundation Terry, like many others, fight for every day. Life's free-for-alls microcosmic of every round fought, the psychiatric struggles bordered like an octagon, the opposition one's conflict. The bell is rung, the fighters engage, and the war begins. For Terry Brazier, a living, breathing influence, this is the fight of his life.